be sharing some information as well as some tips on how to reduce affective filter in a foreign language class. Stephen Krashen is the one who developed the theory of affective filter, in which emotional and physical responses can lock down mental processes in students when acquiring a second language. We teachers play a very important role when it comes to reducing affective filter inside a classroom, so I will share with you 3 tips that have helped me to reduce these negative aspects for my children who are learning English as a second language. Getting to know your students' backgrounds is very important, not only for you, but also for your students. Identifying their interests like music preferences, activities they like to do in their spare time, movies they like to watch. This general information will help them to understand they are very important to you. Identifying strengths and weaknesses in your students will help you to be more aware of specific needs they have, not only as students, but also as human beings they are. And being able to include a variety of activities throughout your lesson will also help you identify the different types of learning, effective learning you have in your classroom. This was very helpful for me last year with a specific group I had with children with ages from 10 to 11 years old. They are not children, but they're not teens yet, so it was very challenging, and these tips I have gave you before were very helpful for me. They were very engaged, they really enjoyed the classroom, and I saw that they were not only learning for the moment, but they were actually acquiring the language throughout the year. So this is my tip number 1. Use prior knowledge. When making a connection with content your students have learned before will help them to feel a lot more confident when participating when you are teaching a new content. Not only this, you are only using relevant information, which means you are helping to reduce cognitive load for your students. This is very important because it will be a lot more easier for them to create new knowledge and make it relevant for them. This was very helpful for me last year with my little ones from ages from 5 to 6 years old. I had to teach numbers from 1 to 50. So what did I do? I couldn't just go and start, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 40, I don't know, all the way to 50. I have to review numbers, for example, from 1 to 20 that I know that they already know these things, right? And then you can continue with the rest of the numbers. This way they make a connection and they can continue with it and just this makes it a lot more easier for them. And my last tip, teamwork. As you have already been able to identify strengths and weaknesses among your students, now you can match them so they can support each other. I will call it complement each other with their abilities. This reduces the feelings of judgment and also gives them a sense of belonging, and they feel useful and they know they are adding something good to someone else. This was very helpful for me this year. At the beginning of the year, I have group of 8 girls. They were very different from each other. Some were more advanced than the others, so I found this very helpful. Making pairs or having them work in groups of 3 was very helpful because now everybody was participating, and we always have a leader in the group, so I had identified the leaders in my classroom so I can place at least 1 in each group, and this was very great. It was a great environment for them, and they enjoy a lot English class. I have been teaching English since 2018, and I remember one of the most challenging groups I had was this with children in ages from 10 to 12 years old. They came to English class on Fridays from 4 to 6 p.m. They were very tired. They were coming from a very long school week, and the least thing they wanted to do was study, and especially English. They were not really interested in this. It was very, very difficult for me as a teacher and for them as students. I remember that the first 3 months of class, it was very hard for them. They really didn't like it at all. So being able to include all these tips I've shared with you before was very helpful. And even though it was not easy process, it took quite a while. At the end of the year, they were very engaged. They really enjoyed it, and the most important thing, they were able to put in practice their English and improve it, and also acquire this second language. So remember, lowering the affective filter can determine how well, how fast, or how slow a foreign language learner will progress. Don't be afraid to create a fun, safe, and a good learning environment for your students in order to avoid low self-esteem, anxiety, low motivation, inhibition, and introversion, which are aspects that can raise affective filter.